our presenter tonight. I'm getting so like it's our team call. I don't have to do that, but I get so used to it, right? Melissa Byrne will be hosting our call tonight, and I'm actually really, really excited for this topic because money makes me happy. And it took me a long time to be able to say that and still feel like I was a humble and good person. Okay, but it's what you can do with money is what makes the individual, right? I remember years and years ago, Natalie, I think it was, Natalie Goddard, someone said, well, I do this, but it's not about the money, right? And she said, well, but it's not about the money, right? And it's so funny when we realize, for instance, there's so many, I love when I to do the three-way calls and I get to dig into to hear what people's hopes and dreams are. It's one of my very, very favorite calls to do as a business leader. And when they realize they have this big, big dream and that it's going to require money, right? To reach that dream, and that doTERRA can be that, it's like, right? Your mind gets blown. So without further ado, I always say that, by the way, without further ado. Do I even say that right? Anyway, I'm going to turn time over to Melissa.
Okay, hello guys. I'm really not this pale, so I don't know what's up, but you'll just have to forgive me because I look white. But welcome everybody to our team meeting tonight. I just wanted to say a couple things really quick. So the Naoli, so today is the 15th, so it's the last day to get it for free, 125 PV. So make sure you do that today. And the Father's Day stuff is almost gone. So if you're wanting that Father's Day stuff, you better get that too. Okay, so if you did not get the remind texts for this event or for this meeting, please make sure that you are texting at the @ symbol and then dripping EO to 81010. There you go. So that's just the easiest way for people to, get information that we want to share quickly. So this will go out to all of our meetings. And then if we need to get with you on something, this is really the fastest way to get it to everybody, because everybody has their phone, but everybody doesn't really necessarily check their emails all the time. So make sure that you do that if you want to get reminders. Okay, so Thursday night. This Thursday night is class 8 of our continuing education, and this is on the pain and inflammation, and this is the last one of the course. So next week we'll be starting back off with number 1, and it's always nice to get people to start at the very beginning. So what I just wanted to show you what I was going to do. So we all can print off our own or get these from Kathy, and these are the postcards for the continuing education. And what I am doing is I'm actually, and this was kind of a suggestion in our Silver Sprint right now, is to look at your top 3 levels, and anybody that has not ordered in the past 6 months, to send them something special or send them an extra reminder just to, get them on these continuing education classes. These really are the most important thing because it is teaching our customers how to use the basic stuff. It's not just the oils, it's everything else too. So I actually bought, and right now Beautiful is 15% off. So I bought a Beautiful Mist. And then I just made these tiny little 3 milliliter sprayers. And I found this on a suggestion somewhere, and it just says, "You are beautiful." And it just has a little body spray. And the regular one is 125 milliliters, and this is only 3 milliliters. So I can make 41 of these and send them out. So they also fit, with your card in a A2 envelope, and they are smaller round than our samples. So these should go through a post office as a regular letter. You don't have to do the expensive package. You can just, put them in, and this is like 50 cents or 75 cents. I don't even know what an actual stamp is right now. but it's only a half an ounce, so it's not even an ounce. So just a good little suggestion or whatever, because I want to try.
Will you restate that? I think you just caught everyone's attention and they're like, wait, what did she just say? Right.
So the thickness, you know, and that's why sometimes if you're doing samples, they're not coming through very well, or people aren't getting them, because the samples are a little too thick to go through the feeders at the post office. So they make you do these as packages, which that can get kind of pricey. Sometimes you can squeeze one in and they don't send them back, but these are a little bit smaller round, these little 3 milliliters, and you can get them in 2 or 3, and they're on Amazon, but they are actually smaller. So they should be able to go in an envelope, just like a regular envelope, and be shipped with a stamp. They are a half an ounce, so they don't even weigh an ounce. So this is just 1 stamp. And so then I just have my reminder for the continuing education. And then I just gave them this little, "You are beautiful." And all you have to do on the beautiful is just cut open the top and then pour it in something, and then just use one of those little droppers to squeeze it out and just stick it right in here. So I just thought that was, you know, how many times do we just kind of feel like we're not beautiful? So just giving this just says you are beautiful. So that was just my little suggestion. Okay. Product. So tonight we are going to hear from one of mine, Sarah Stevens, and she is going to talk on a product for us tonight. So I'm going to unmute you, Sarah, I think. Try. Okay, I can't. Okay, there.
Yay. So we're talking tonight about the shampoo and conditioner. So, you know, I just got this month because my friend got it, thanks to Melissa. And so now I got it because I was all excited because, you know, and I don't know if you guys can tell at all, but it's like iridescent and it's sparkly and glittery, which I know shouldn't matter, but it does. And it has it has some really good stuff in it. It has wild orange, it has lime, and the conditioner has lavender and peppermint, and it feels good because I always get my shampoos and stuff hand-me-downs from my aunt who's a hair salon person, and the shampoos feel like plastic all the time, but these ones, they don't feel like plastic, and you don't need a lot. You just need like a dime size amount for my amount of hair just to wash your hair, and you just need a dime size amount to put conditioner in it, because normally I glob it on and it was like way too much because I apparently put too much product in my hands with the cheap stuff. So yeah, it has so many benefits. Helps your hair grow and thicker according to testimonials, and it helps regrowth of hair, which is awesome as well, because that's everything I need because I'm balding, even though I look like I have so much hair. So yeah, I don't know what to add, but I'm sure Melissa can add a lot more to that.
Thanks, Sarah.
And it's shiny.
So try and mute you back up. So the reason that I think it's really good that we talk about like the shampoo and stuff is because we really have to focus our customers on getting the essentials. And that's why I'm kind of talking today more about about money making, you know, whatever. I am like,
do you love that word? What money? What, did you love money? Do you know, I gotta send you all the Money Friends podcast. You guys need to learn to love money and carry money. They're friends, like Benjamin Franklin, they're friends.
Cool. Okay. So it's very important, you know, to get our customers on the shampoos, to get them on the toothpaste, especially the vitamins, because once they're on the vitamins, they're on it forever. So very important. But without that, I am going to share my screen, and I'm hoping that I share the right screen. Okay. So I hope you guys all see the business made easy, right? Okay. So actually, most people's interest peaks when you talk about residual income. And that's what we're talking about. That's the word that I was trying to think of, was residual income. So what does, and I got to move my little pictures here because they're in my way. So what does residual income mean to you? So I actually watched this presentation over the weekend, and it was actually really an eye-opener to myself. It's an hour-long presentation, so I am not going to go into the full hour and the entire PowerPoint on this, but I did want to share what really stood out to myself. And I do highly recommend you watch the entire thing, though. It does help you understand more, and it helps you be able to explain it to your potential builders and your shares as well. So residual income means financial freedom. And most often people are living paycheck to paycheck. Financial freedom is not worrying about getting those creditors' calls, being overdrawn in your bank account, balancing your checkbook, or even just overspending at the grocery store. Because I don't know how many of you here, have budgets that you've got to really stick to on your grocery, and how nice it would be just to go and just put whatever you want in your basket and not have to worry about whether you have that money that month or not. So when I first started doTERRA 8 years or so ago, and I don't even know if Kathy remembers this or not, but she gave me a book called Beach Money, and I read it. And it's basically learning how to be financially free through network marketing or taking an awesome vacation on a beach somewhere while earning a paycheck at home. So I don't know about you, but staying on a beach doing nothing but enjoying the waves is still earning, and while still earning an income, it really does sound amazing. So actually what reminded me of that book is last week, Justin Harrison spoke in the Oil Games Silver Sprint lessons to purchase this book, which is called Making the First Circle Work. And so we had to get this as part of our Silver Sprint. And so I actually just got this today, so I haven't read it yet, but I'm guessing it's pretty similar to the book I received from Kathy. But the first circle is you. So making the first circle work, which is you. So where are you today? So trading hours for dollars just means you are getting paid hourly or a salary, but you have requirements that must be met and the hours you must work in order to get that paycheck. So you get a certain point where you are stuck, no more promotions and no more raises, or your raises are less and less just because of the different, things that are going on today. So you also have limits on advancements and your earnings. You can't take off whenever you want for vacations or even when you have sick leave. And I know right now when you're sick, they are definitely saying stay home. But in a normal case, you can't just always stay home. If you don't have sick leave, you can't stay home. So unless you own your business, you are also building other people's dreams. So what is authentic direct sales? So you have the ability to take the time off when you want at the drop of a hat. So Dana Moore actually talked on this about herself when her mother got really, really sick and she needed to go and help her and take care of her. And normally, she didn't have to worry about asking for the time off, or she didn't have to worry about how long she was going to be gone. She was actually gone for 2 weeks, and she came home for a couple of days and then went on a pre-planned vacation with her family. So she literally worked 2 to 3 days that month, and she still made her doTERRA diamond income. Got a check in the mail after working just a couple days a week. So there are absolutely no limits on advancements and earnings. And you give yourself a raise just by working more hours when you want to. You can outrank everyone. So I could outrank my direct upline, which is Kathy. She probably wouldn't care. And I can outrank my upline, her upline, which is a blue diamond. I can even work when I want, and I can take vacations when I want. And I am building my own dreams, not someone else's. So why partner with doTERRA? Well, I think we all know why, since we are all here, but I'm showing you this slide because the retention rate for doTERRA. So we've all seen this before. It is a 65%, but what does that mean? Well, it means that 65% of those that enroll with doTERRA continue to buy or sell month after month, year after year. But what I hadn't heard of, and I haven't seen, is what the national industry's average was. And it's 13%, which is, to me, is crazy. So if I were to enroll like in Pampered Chef, only 13% of those enrolled continue to buy or sell. So just a side note on that. So the difference too with enrolling someone as a customer over just selling them stuff from your account is what makes them come directly to you and continue to purchase from you. So I don't know about you, but since COVID, I have actually been invited to 3 different Pampered Chef online parties. And every single one of those parties I purchased from. But none of those same people had the same consultant. So I actually ordered from 3 different consultants. I have no reason to purchase from the same consultant. I was invited to 3 different parties and I purchased from those. It doesn't benefit me any way, one way or the other, who I purchase from. But if I were to enroll someone as a customer, they continue to purchase under me, they continue to earn points for free products. See, what does it say if they don't have their own customer account and you're just selling them from your account, that they don't go to, you know, a trade show or whatever and purchase a Breathe from them? They have no reason or no obligation to purchase under you if they do not have their own wholesale account. So that is on just a side note on why it's a good idea, because I know a lot of people just sell directly from their own account, but that kind of explains why it is important to still always enroll every customer and have them have their own account. So now this is the slide that actually had me going crazy all weekend, and I'm serious. I talked about it with everybody. I talked about it with my mom. I talked about it with my boys. So I have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old one, a 21-year-old right now. And after hearing these facts, I had to sit down with them and talk about their future, because neither one of them, they're both lazy right now. They don't have jobs. They're not going to school. They just mooch off of me. Because in order for you to retire and have the average monthly income to retire on, you have to save $27,000 extra a year, starting between the ages of 20 and 25. I even did the math because I didn't really even believe it myself, because I just thought, wow. I said, I don't know about you, but I have not started, I haven't saved $27,000 per month since I was 20 or even 25. And I guarantee you the thought hasn't even come across to either one of my boys before I spoke with them yesterday, as well as yet to even, they haven't even started saving now. So I will go into a little bit of personal information here. So my husband and I, we've been saving a 401k since he started his job here in Idaho 7 years ago. So we had previous savings, but with the housing market and crash decline that happened several years ago, we really lost everything. So that is also the reason why we had to move to Idaho. But we have been increasing the percentage, and we've been giving as much as we can into his 401k for the last 7 years. And given the maximum amount, because businesses often will match what you put into your 401k. And we checked it over the weekend, and we have $69,000 is all that we have in there. And that is, again, because of the market crash right now. All of our money is tied up in stocks. And so when the stocks go down, you lose everything. So, and the sad thing is too, is not even a lot of people even have 401ks. And we have no idea where Social Security will be when we want to retire. So if my husband and I kept going like we are right now, there is no way we will have a nest egg as of, look at the number on the board, $1,080,000 in the 20 years we have left before we retire. That's how much you have to have, $1,080,000 in a nest egg to be able to retire on $4,500 a month. Now, I will even say I talked to my mom over the weekend, because they also did not save, and they are pretty much living just on Social Security. And so I asked her, you know, how much do you get? What are you doing? And she says her biggest issue right now is their medication, the medication that they're on. And it literally takes pretty much almost their entire Social Security that they get. And they don't even have a house payment because they did a reverse mortgage on their house. So, you know, it really was an eye opener to me, and it really did scare me. And it really showed me that my reasonings for being in doTERRA are even more important now than ever, and how I really need to be financially free. So, and if you look at the other numbers, 75% of people at age 50 have less than $5,000 in their bank account. And 98% of retired people depend on outside financial resources. And again, we have no idea what those outside resources are going to be by the time we retire. So to me, it's very incredibly scary to even think about. So we've all seen this before, but after listening to this webinar, it also made a little bit more sense as well. So because again, if you look at the change or the charge supplement, if you look at this, your supplement income is still in the category of $4,800 to $9,400 a month, which is gold or platinum. So most often I think that that should be replacing an income, not supplementing. But you have to think about it a few different ways. Are you replacing just your income, or are you thinking about replacing your husband's or partner's as well? I was always thinking that I just had to replace my income. But to be financially free, you have to think about your husband's income or your spouse's or significant other, whatever, as well as your own. And maybe I was the only one that ever really thought that way, but you are not financially free if you are just replacing one person's income. It has to be the entire household's income. But then also remember, in the previous slide, I also mentioned you have to save an additional $27,000 a year for 40 years to be able to retire at an age of 65. $27,000 a year is the same as $2,250 extra per month, which is at a silver level. So me at a silver, I really am just supplementing. This income doesn't replace my husband's income, and it barely covers what I need to save every month just to retire. This is why I'm going all the way. I want to replace mine and my husband's income and sit on a beach somewhere collecting a paycheck.
Woo, woo!
So this is just one of our bonuses and the only one I'm really going to go over, but she also has it written down, and it's just so different when you look into it when it's written in front of you. And this is called the unilevel bonus. So I'm sharing this slide because again, this is comparing you to other network marketing companies and why doTERRA is superior to theirs. So if you think about a triangle, the smallest amount of people is at the top, you know, and that's where we are. And then we have our 3 down line, they have all their 3 down line. So the largest is going to be at the bottom. So if you were to be paid, doTERRA, you get paid the lowest percentage at the top and the highest percentage at the bottom, which is where you have the most customers. Let's say you had 2,187 customers on your 7th level. Again, doTERRA pays 7 levels, which is also not what most other companies pay. They don't pay 7 levels, but doTERRA does. And let's say they each spent 150 PV a month. You would make a total of 22,963 just on your bottom level. That same 2,187 customers purchased from another direct selling company, the same 150 PV, and their bonus is only $6,500, which is huge difference. So again, doTERRA's retention rate is 65% as well. So if you keep doing what you're doing now, sampling, enrolling, holding classes, and taking care of your customers, this figure really is doable and you can live financially free. So what is your current 10-year plan? So the average yearly income is $51,939 as is in the first square. It shows what the average yearly raise would be every year added to your income. Now, if you looked at doTERRA's 10-year plan, and this is if you were going extremely slow, only rank advancing once per year for the next 10 years, most people actually rank to elite in about 3 months. So by the time, 3 to 6 months. So by the time 5 years passed, you would be at a similar level of pay, both on your 10-year plan and doTERRA's 10-year plan. Of course, this would be just supplementing. You would also still need to have a job if you were going to go this slow. But again, with doTERRA, you can go that slow, but it's your option. But by year 10, you're making over $1 million compared to the $67,000 in an hourly or salary paying job. The other awesome thing about doTERRA and running your business the way we have all been taught is like through Elise Chedevy's way, back to basics, daily mentor calls. These are all something that are already done for you. And especially now that we have the oil games here, you just have to plug your people in, sign them up, have them do these mentor, the mentor calls, have them do the oil games. and you follow what Elise tells you to do every day, you will rank advance. So she really is doing a lot of this for us. So I do highly recommend you watch the entire 1 hour webinar on this. It really is fascinating. I will put the link at the webinar in the Dripping Oils Business Builders group when this is over. So I am going to stop sharing. So I don't know what you all thought about that. To me, it was just an eye-opener. I just keep saying to myself that $27,000 a year is what we have to save in order just to retire comfortably, which that is a lot of money every year. So me, I'm going the whole beach way, and I am going the whole way. So anybody have any questions on anything or comments? And Kathy, it's all up to you.
Spoke to me tonight, Melissa, when you said you are not financially free if you are only thinking of replacing your own income. That was huge. I mean, financially free means if the airlines lay off Brad at the end of the year, we're fine. That's what financially free means. And so it helps put things in a little bit better perspective for me. And you know what's my favorite thing that I love? When I was in Prague, sitting with a bunch of other blue diamonds, presidential diamonds, it was the first time ever that I realized, guess what, guys? We're all just the same. We are all just the same, no matter what amount of money we make. It's what we do with that money that makes us different. Okay, so I'm excited. If this is resonating with you and you're like, you know what? You know, something that, let's see, I've been doing this for 9 years and I had this aha moment today. The aha moment I had today was, did you know that a perfect power of 3 $1,500 bonus is a premier organization? So literally, if you help build out your 1,500 or your first build, your builder's 1,500, there's a premier, there's a premier, there's a premier. And when I just kind of put the two of those together, I was like, oh, we got to go build some more premiers, right? Why do we always stop at like, okay, hit elite? Because that's how we were kind of trained with the launch. If we move our mindset to this premier push, not only will we all be traveling somewhere awesome in January, and I hope you guys remember that. Okay. And no, we haven't figured it out yet. COVID's still playing a piece of the puzzle, and we'll figure it out, I promise. But it's going to be a ton of fun. And I love that we were able to have such a powerful, Melissa, I really, really am excited to watch the full training. Thank you for posting that. Did anyone else see this or watch this as part of their Oil Games training and has any other insight? Kathy, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, I watched it. And one of the things that I heard, the $27,000 is starting at a very young age. You have to start putting that money away. Like at age 20, you have to put $27,000 a year away at 5% interest. So how many, I mean, I'm a little bit over that age now, so age 20. So I would, just a little bit. So, I mean, I'm going to have to put $100,000 a year away to even make up for that. And I mean, we don't make that much, sorry. I will one day.
You know, one of the things that I can attest, you guys, 9 years, it took me six years to hit diamond. Okay. And of course I don't hit diamond every month now because I'm still kind of a soft diamond. I have sat on the beach several times in those years and been paid to sit on that beach. And so when she talks about Jason Adler's beach money, you have to decide what is beach money for you. For some of you, $2,000 a month would change your life. Okay. But I ask that you learn to expand your mind bigger. Okay. I remember when I very first started doing this business, I sat down with Brad and I said, Brad, do you think I'm capable of making $50,000 a year? And he said, yeah, you've done that before, right? Before we had kids, right? And I said, okay, do you think I'm capable of making $100,000 a year? He's all, well, that's, wow. Yeah, I mean, I suppose, but you know, and then I said, do you think I could make $50,000 a month? And that's when he was like, okay, where are we going with this, right? And his belief level kind of smashed at that point. Do you know what? If I had that same conversation with him today, right? He's like, okay, how many more hours do you need to work each day, right? He knows that what's capable. And so one of the things that you have to recognize is that you are growing into this belief, okay? You can't think about $5,000 a month until you've hit $1,000 a month. So allow yourself, like Melissa shows that trajectory. There's a reason why it looks like a mountain, right? Climbing up the hill, because allow yourself to take one building block at a time. And know this, the only person that is stopping you from moving to the next level is yourself. So whether that's something emotionally that you've got to clear because you're not doing the actions needed, or you're not talking to the people that you know you need to talk to, allow your mentor or allow yourself to be trained in the oil games and the daily mentor calls. Everything you need is in there. So anything else? Oh, I love that idea, Selena, to have our husbands watch it too. Awesome. I don't have anything else to say. Anyone else? Clara looks like she's on the edge of her seat. No.
I say, just on a closing, you know, the only way to get this residual income is to get your customers on stuff that they will continually buy. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why doTERRA is a 65% compared to, you know, the other leading companies, because you don't need a spatula every single month. You don't need, you know, all these other things that these other, you don't, you know, but you do need medical care, or, you know, natural medicine. You do need shampoos. You do need toothpaste. You do need mouthwash. You do need laundry soap. Hopefully you wash your clothes. My kids don't, but maybe you do, hopefully. Anyway, so I think that that is the biggest thing, is to get your customers on things that they're going to use continually, whether sampling them or whatever. Just get them to try the stuff. And that's all I have to say tonight. Thanks, guys.
Can I add on to that real quick?
Yep.
Okay, so I actually been reaching out to people in my downline who are on a different list. They're not my enrollments, but I've been reaching out to them. And I actually have a woman who was ready to come off of, she was done. She didn't want to spend the $50 a month to keep her LRP going and all that. And I made the phone call. She's a friend of her son's friends with my son, but she's not my enrollment. So I talked to her and told her how she could actually start replacing, you know, we're not just an oil company, but when she enrolled, the person that enrolled her didn't go over the wellness consult with her, didn't tell her anything else about the company except for she just was using oils. I said, well, you use shampoo already. Kroger doesn't give you points, you know, so I put it to her that way. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. So she has points to be able to use. So she just got done placing an order for some less expensive oils that she knows she's going to be able to use for things around the house, but then also is looking into like skincare and some of the supplements and all these other things that she didn't even know was even available to her. And so anyway, so yes, we have to reach out to them and just let them know, especially if they're not our enrollments and we don't know if the work has been done on the wellness consult. So like Kathy, I think you mentioned to me one point in time, everybody on my team they're one of my team members, and I'm responsible for them. Just even if they're in someone else's enrollment, I have every right to help that person, even if they're, you know, even if the person who, you know, enrolled them isn't doing something, they're my responsibility to help take care of them. That's why I left Young Living, is because I wasn't getting that connection and that, you know, so anyways, that's what I had on that.
Well, and I love that, Heather. I think how many of the people on this call would say, okay, Heather, what did you say? Did you text? Did you call? You know, how did you approach that person? Maybe this one you had a relationship with, but I know you've done this with maybe people you didn't even know, right?
I didn't have much of a relationship with her. My son is good friends with her son, but we don't really chat much, except for, you know, she said in passing, hey, I need to figure out what to do with this LRP order thing, because I'm sort of done ordering, because she would just let it sit. She kept forgetting to change it. And so she has like this stockpile. She's like, I have all these oils and I have no idea what to use them for. And I was like, oh, then we need it. And now that I have sort of gotten to know her a little bit, I still don't really know her, but we're more comfortable with each other. So I can be able to, you know, communicate with her a little bit more now and be able to explain to her what she can do. Like I was talking about cleaning the house with them, and I told her about the continue, even though I swear I've sent her the continuing education, you know, stuff. She's like, I don't think I've been on it. I was like, well, it's free to you just for being on this team. And so anyways, I just reached out, and I texted her first because she had voiced the interest in actually, you know, dropping off, and I didn't want her to do that because she was going to lose all of her points and stuff. So then we connected and had the phone call, the actual phone conversation.
Speaking of continuing education, has anyone been curious about the cute breezy that they get? Isn't that the cutest thing? It's just this little one, and it has just one button. So easy. Anyway, random thought.
Okay, you're muted now, Kathy. So anybody else or everybody else good? Okay, everybody have a great week.
Games this week. I am so proud of those of you who in oil games, especially those of you, which is most of my team, who work 40-hour jobs or 60-hour jobs like Rhonda. You know what I mean? Like, you guys being in oil games is, okay, whatever, 120 hour. Okay, Rhonda, tell the truth. You know, I'm like you decide, and I loved this in Prague, and I'll share this, you know, I want to talk to you guys forever because I love it when I can talk doTERRA. But when you can fit doTERRA into the nooks and crannies of your life, okay, don't we feel like we have to do that sometimes? Every bit of you building that pipeline is helping you get to that residual income. Every bit. So, okay, awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks, Sarah.